Hi. It's in rotate device. Are people? I know people, but it's in rotate device. I need to check if it's online. Hey guys, I'm just checking if you can all see me clearly. Let me open it. You can all see me clearly. Okay, so it's looking like that. Okay, so I think we need to maybe turn it on. Unscrew. And then I have to put it this way, just hold it like that. Can you pause? Sorry guys, give me a minute. Yeah. Okay. Hi guys. Please let me know if you can hear me, if you're experiencing any sound problems or audio, or video. Can you see me clearly? Please just write a comment. Hi Valerie, hi Kelly. I've missed you guys too. It's good to be back. Oh, that's great. Hi Cynthia. Hi Ventura. Is that how you say your name? Hi Fiona. Awesome. So I know all of you. Thank you for joining. Maybe you can tell me where you are right now. I'm not saying you tell me where you live, but are you in Nairobi? Which county are you in? Which country are you in? In case you're not in Kenya right now, you can comment. Hi, Sue. All right, so before we start, I just want you to say hi to me, tell me where you're watching from. I have my laptop here, and before we start, because it'll be a while, make sure you have some water, some green tea, your drink of choice. Make sure you're comfortable. I have some water nearby. And then, I mean, if you've not had dinner, you can also eat as you watch. I can't see you. I'm not judging you. You can teach me how to say your name in the future. Okay, so a few of you had sent in questions earlier via the DMs. So what I'll do is I'll start with the questions that were sent in earlier. I have them here, so I'll be referring to my laptop in case you keep... I might also take some notes in me looking here. I am doing my best to just have my references open. I've grouped the questions that was on wealth and productivity. So I'll be going in that order. If I say anything and you want me to explain more, or you have some more questions on what I've mentioned, then just write them in the chat and I'll be checking the chat so that I can finish the category in its entirety before moving on to the next one. Is that okay with you guys? Give me a thumbs up if we're together. Hey guys, are we together? Shall I begin? Awesome, thank you, Ventura. I feel like I'm murdering your name every time I say it. Oh, okay, so then I'll begin with the first hair question. So someone said that they have awkward length natural hair and she doesn't want to braid her hair, so she asked me for some style recommendations. So when it comes to style recommendations, especially when your hair is like short to medium length, my best advice is to pick from a few styles or even just one style, practice it and master it so that it becomes your go-to hairstyle. Instead of trying to do or learn 100 different hairstyles, you'd rather pick one and let that always be your default, you know. So for me, I was a bit of a lazy natural when my hair was shorter. So my go-to hairstyle was twist outs. They've never failed me. They don't fail me to this day. I can do twist outs in my sleep and, you know, wake up and look presentable. So in case that's not your thing, here are a few suggestions. You could do braid outs, you could do flat twists, you could do bantu knot outs, you could also do some low manipulation hairstyles. So cornrows are a good option, especially if you are able to learn how to do them and do them neatly. You can also always add some extensions to the end of them to give you length. Flat twists are also a great low manipulation hairstyle. Again, you can do this with any length of hair. You can opt to add in some extensions if you want length. Another good low manipulation hairstyle is mini twists. If you followed me for a long time, you've probably seen that I rock mini twists quite regularly, and I do believe that they can look good on shorter hair. I think just wear them once, let them become your signature, and people will get used to it. I don't believe in there being mainstream, professional, natural hairstyles. Your hair is beautiful as it is, and I think we as the society need to move forward and move towards embracing our natural hair as it is, and the way it is good enough for you to get out of the door, go to the office, go to school, go to work, you know. So just pick a hairstyle and people are going to just catch up with you. So I hope that gives you some ideas. If you're looking for somewhere to buy some extensions that are closest to our hair texture, I recommend Natural Hair Kenya. This is not sponsored. I've gotten hair from them. Mali hair is very good in terms of blending with our kinky hair. So you can get some Mali hair. You can also sleek your hair into a low bun and then just use the Mali hair to add a faux bun or a faux ponytail. So those are many ideas. I hope you can go onto YouTube. There's so many tutorials for people with any length of hair. and just give it a shot. So you can try all of them and then see the one that you feel frames your face the best, the one that's the easiest to do. It's entirely up to you. Hi, hi Wendy, hi Lucy, hi Harshita. Thank you for joining. So I was just answering the first question about some hairstyles for awkward length hair. So then I'll be moving on to the second question, which is how to stop or to minimize hair fall or breakage. So this is actually a question that I have dedicated an entire video to. So you can check out my channel. I think the title is The Difference Between Breakage versus Shedding and How to Minimize Breakage. But just to give you a brief answer, the first thing you need to determine is whether it is indeed breakage or is it just shedding. And the easiest way to do this is something called a bulb test. So when you find the hair, the piece of hair on the floor or on your top, wherever you find it, you want to check if it's the entire length of your strand. And usually if it is, you'll find a lightish root, maybe it looks almost white. So that shows you that the entire strand of your hair shed off, and that's shedding. Shedding is normal. We lose about 100 to maybe 200 strands of hair a day. So it's not something you necessarily have to worry about. But if it's breakage, it tends to be shorter pieces from the length of your hair. So now that you know it's breakage, you need to figure out what could be causing it. And there are so many causes of hair loss or hair fall. So because I know who asked me this question, one of the main causes of hair or break, you're deficient in vitamin D insufficiency. So if you have any deficiencies, it may lead to some hair loss or some excessive breakage. Another common cause, especially for those with kinkier, curlier hair, is over manipulation. So if you're constantly in your hair, constantly playing with it, constantly styling it, you weaken your strands and they're more likely to break and shed off more frequently. Another cause could be a need for protein. So you might be in need of a protein treatment on your hair or just in need of taking more protein in your diet. Remember, our hair is made up of a protein called keratin. So you need to feed your hair from the inside out. Okay? Stress is another major cause of hair loss. So I hope that none of you are stressed right now. I know it's a very tough time, but try to keep stress on the minimum by, finding sources of balance and peace, meditation, prayer, journaling, exercise, whatever it takes to care. Another form of stress could be physical stress on your body. Actually, changing your diet drastically can also be a cause of stress and can lead to hair fall. So drastic, dieting, yo-yo dieting is something you want to avoid if you want to keep your hair on your head. I hope I'm not moving too fast and you're still with me. So just keep giving me a thumbs up. Hi Joanna, hi Vaish. Color or chemical treatments on your hair. So color treating and chemically treating your hair are alter the structure of your hair. So yes, it is possible to have fairly well managed chemically processed hair, but usually if you apply some form of treatment to your hair, it is more likely or more prone to damage and breakage. So that's something to consider. Sorry if I'm going on and on, but I want to be as exhaustive as possible. Hi, Ajita. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Auntie Jojo. Okay, and then another reason of breakage could be that you need a trim. Do you trim your hair regularly? If not, you might be in need of a trim. So I suggest going to a professional hairstylist simply because they use the right shears. Don't be trimming your hair with those home scissors. Like, love yourself. Okay, so you could learn how to trim your hair at home. So there are YouTube tutorials on that. So that's another possible cause of breakage. Lastly, at least for now, that have hair loss as a side effect. Some of them could be blood thinners, could be um, psoriasis treatment, could be blood pressure medications, could be seizure medications, even antacids can have a side effect of hair loss. So you want to check the medications that you're taking, and if hair loss would be a side effect, and this is something you're worried about, then talk to your doctor about it. I'm not telling you to stop taking those medications, please. Take your medication that doesn't have that as a side effect. Hi Lois, my specs are from a website called farmu.com. It's a US brand. Actually, I got them on a buy one get one free sale, and they were only $30, like 3K for 2 pairs of specs. So go get you it with me, because I got them and I'm just promoting them for free. Okay. Hi patients. Okay, with the questions that I have on here. Are we still together? I hope we are. Give me a thumbs up, smile, like a smiley face, so that I know we're still together. I think I missed saying hi to some people. Hi Louisa, hey girl. Hi Malcolm. Hi Sharon. Oh hi namesake. Hi Joanna. I think I've said hi to all of you. Okay. Hi Susan. Hi Victoria. I will get to your question shortly. All right. So now the next question was about Ayurvedic powders for thickening naturally thin hair. So again, this is something that I have videos on my channel. I actually have 2 videos on Ayurveda, and I named some of them. So actually, I got psyched and excited about Ayurveda a couple of years ago, bought a lot of them, and ended up being lazy and not using them. I've had to throw out a lot of them because they expired before I even used them. So I'm not being too consistent with Ayurveda, but I do know that all of them, in one way or another, are quite beneficial to your hair, especially for strengthening your hair. So the ones that I know are very popular and I've seen benefit when it comes to thickening, and I say thickening because you really can't increase the number of strands on your head. So that's unless you get a transplant. But other than that, the thickness of your hair is genetic. It is the way it is. But those that give an idea of fullness are the ones that I'm aware of. So I hope that helps you out a bit. You can check out those 2 videos for more info. Yeah, but one thing I'd like to just advise when it comes to using herbs on your hair, even on your skin, is you have to be quite careful when you're doing it yourself in your home. You don't know what potions you're mixing up in the house. So make sure that you get your recipes from a reliable source, and you just proceed with have carefully put those herbs together. But in case you want to know more about Ayurveda, how to actually use these herbs in your routine, I highly recommend a YouTube channel called Green Beauty Research on these powders, and she goes into detail about each of them, how to use them, side effects, all of that good stuff. So if you want to read up more on Ayurveda, check out her channel, and maybe it'll help you out a bit more. Whew, you guys. I feel like I'm just going on and on. Okay. All right. I have, I think, 3 more questions that are here. So I'll keep going. One of you asked, when I started out my journey, I really thought that heat is one of those things you should use sparingly or avoid altogether. There's a lot of fear mongering around the natural hair community when it comes to using heat. And I think the issue with it is just people don't know how to use it wisely, how to use it carefully. So it's usually easier to just tell people not to use it altogether. So when it comes to demystifying the use of heat on hair, I just think that personally, I haven't experimented with heat regularly. I use heat on my hair maybe 2 to 3 times a year, usually when I'm getting a trim. So from experience, I've not used it a lot and I've never gotten heat damage. So maybe I'm one of the lucky ones. But what I can say is if you plan to experiment with heat, the usual tips that I give is make sure that you start off on clean, well moisturized, deep conditioned hair. If possible, number 2, use heat protectant. And number 3, consider the purpose that you're using the heat for. Are you lightly blowing your hair out to trim? Are you preparing for a protective style? Are you using heat to wear your hair out, like you want to flat iron and rock your hair out? Because depending on the purpose of using heat on your hair, then you can determine how to use it, how to proceed with caution. So generally you'll find that you don't need to use as much heat regularly. If it's just for stretching your hair prior to protective style, you just need to lightly blow dry it, very, very lightly. And another tip I'd give is use less heat on the ends of your hair than on your roots. Your roots are much stronger and your ends are weaker and older. So if you're going to use heat, you focus more heat here and less on your ends. That's a very good way to just protect your hair overall. What else? Use a few passes. You don't need too many passes of your blow dryer or your flat iron. Yeah, so those are a few of my tips when it comes to using heat. It's not entirely bad. Maybe I'll experiment with it in the future and share my journey. But if it's something you want to use, go ahead. There are people who blow dry their hair every 2 weeks and they have very healthy hair. But there are people who they see a blow dryer on the road and they get heat damage. So you also need to just accept, especially if you have finer, weaker strands, if your hair is color treated, if your hair is chemically treated, you might want to just use less heat because your hair is more prone to damage. Okay, so I hope that helps you out a bit. Okay, so another question is how to care for your temporary locks abroad. So last year I actually had locks in for a long time, like for 4 months, and I was very, very lazy with them. And so what I personally did, I do have a protective style maintenance routine on my YouTube channel, so you can check that out. So I mainly used dry shampoo on my scalp every single week. What I recommend is you can use a dry shampoo on your scalp every week, but make sure you wash your hair with shampoo at least once a month. Thoroughly get in there, clean your scalp the way you would if your hair was open. So take care of your hair just like you would. But with locks specifically, one thing I noticed is they pick up a lot of lint. And so if you apply any oil-based product on the strands, then you're just allowing a lot of lint, a lot of fabric and product to just collect on the locks. So even when I was installing them, I was advised by the hairdresser not to use any product on the length of my strands. So I didn't. Plus, honestly, realistically, you're not going to get to your hair. So just leave the strands alone. Focus on keeping your scalp clean. If you want to moisturize your scalp, then you can just lightly mist it with some water. This is how I prefer to oil my scalp. And then apply a bit of oil. And that's something that can keep you week by week. Something else is make sure that you sleep with a satin scarf or on a satin pillowcase, or if you can find a bonnet that's big enough to keep the locks in, it will really help because again I mentioned it collects a lot of lint. I'd sleep on like a cotton pillowcase, so it would really collect a lot of lint. So that's my other tip when it comes to temporary locks. When it comes to maintaining the roots, like the neatness of the roots, there are different techniques on how to refresh the roots. I personally didn't do any of that, but there are a couple of tutorials on YouTube where they actually take some hair and twist around the roots that have grown out. So you can check out some tutorials and try that out for yourself. Some people actually retighten the way real locks are retightened. So if you're able to get your own needle and practice how to do that, then maybe you can be able to maintain that neat look. If you have a salon accessible where you can refresh the locks, then that would be perfect. Okay, someone asked about how to cure a dry scalp in hot and humid weather. This lady lives in the coast and she wanted some advice on that. So one tip I can give you, because I also am in hot, like I live in a hot and humid area most of the year. So what I do is I try and moisturize my hair closer to bedtime. So don't moisturize your hair right before you leave the house, because you're going to be melting, you're going to be sweating, it's just going to be a waste of product. So maybe 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, when you're at home doing your work, watching your Netflix, again, the same way I mentioned how I moisturize my scalp, is lightly spritz with some warm water and use very little oil. I think people go heavy-handed with the oil and you don't want to be suffocating your scalp, so just use a bit of oil and massage it into your scalp. Give it time to sink in before you sleep, so that you're not sweating in your sleep either or dripping onto your pillowcase at night. My second tip would be to try steaming your hair in the shower. This is something, even if you have your hair in braids or in twists, it can be very beneficial. So you steam your hair in the shower and then massage your scalp to stimulate production of your natural oil, which is called sebum. So when you massage your scalp, the sebum will be produced and it will come to the surface. Actually, you can feel it. It's a sticky oil. So once you feel that, you can actually spread it through the roots, and also you can even distribute it to the length of your hair. So this is really founded on the water-only washing method of hair care. So it's a very good way to just keep your scalp naturally moisturized, because really our scalp knows how to manage itself if you give it a chance. So this is also a good way to limit product buildup and let your scalp be naturally moisturized. I hope that helps. Anyone who deals with a dry scalp, you might want to let your sebum do its own thing and play around with the scoop. It's called the scoop and spread method. Green Beauty also has a video on this, so you can check that out for more information on how to do that. Okay, so those are my previous questions on hair. So now I will be looking at your comments. Okay, where are we? Okay, so what would you recommend to repair edges? So Wendy, I actually have a video on this. So I shared how I tried to just boost my edges a little, but I've grown to accept that I have, I don't know what's the name of the hairline pattern, where widows speak. Yes, thank you. She's over here. Yeah, so I have a widow's peak, and my edges were not even bothered. So anyway, when it comes to repairing your edges, it goes back to the first or second question I answered. You must figure out what it is that's causing the balding or the hair loss and deal with that first before you start looking for a recipe that could help. Jamaican black castor oil seems to be a hit. Also onion juice. I'm yet to try it, but I hear very good things when it comes to reversing hair loss. So you could look into trying an onion juice recipe on your hairline. But one thing you can do now is be kind to your edges. Stop doing tight hairstyles. Never do them in the future. if your braids are too heavy, that's a very good recipe for hair loss, especially around, wow, hair loss along your edges. So really, prevention is better than cure, but maybe you can look into Ayurvedic herbs are very good, uh, very useful. Jamaican black castor oil and onion juice. You can also check out my video that I did about my hairline. Okay. Uh, what do I do to make my hair less dry? Vaish, you just moisturize it. um, Try finding a good moisturizing leave-in conditioner that you apply on a regular basis and then follow up with an oil or a butter to seal in the moisture. Victoria, you say my hair thrives when I do nothing to it but wash while I bathe. While I bath. Do I buy the wrong product? My hair thrives when I do nothing to it but wash while I bathe. Do I buy the wrong products? Not quite understanding your question, Victoria. Maybe you can rephrase. If your hair thrives when you do nothing but wash it while you bath, then if it's working for you, keep doing it. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. In case I've not answered your question the way you wanted me to, you can rewrite your question and then look at it. Lois says, sometimes when I wash my hair, I feel like the water doesn't reach my scalp, even after intensely washing. I wash in sections also. Do you wash with your hair twisted? If so, you might need to try washing with your hair loose. Sometimes your hair is not able to fully absorb the product, or you're not able to really access all the sections of your hair if your hair is in sections. I know sections make life easier, twists make life easier, but you may be one of the few people who need to have their hair fully loose so that they can soak up all the product. The water can fully, absorb into the hair. So you can try doing that. My views on Chebe powder. I have never tried it, so I can't say much about it. I know there's a lot of hype around it, but there's always hype around. There are seasons of hype when it comes to hair products. I genuinely believe there's no magic hair product that's going to solve all your problems. You just need to maintain a simple, consistent routine where your hair is kept clean and it's moisturized. Any of these other treatments, even including the ones that I mentioned, they are additional, they're accessory to your standard hair routine. So there's no magic product. That's all I can say when it comes to that. Joanne, your hair is non-porous. Please share tips for managing and care for healthy and voluminous hair. Well, I do have 2 videos on porosity, and I go into how you can determine your hair porosity and how you can maintain your hair based on your hair porosity. So that's quite a detailed section of my videos, so you can go and check that out so that you can figure out how to create a routine that's tailored to your hair porosity. But back to what I said earlier, less is more. Keep it simple. Develop a consistent routine where you're keeping your hair clean and moisturized, and it will thrive. Darken hair naturally. I am not aware of any way to naturally darken the hair, to be honest. So I cannot give you an answer on that now. Maybe I can look it up. People do use henna to give their hair a bit of a tint, though it darkens hair if, say, your hair is towards light brown or graying. People use henna to help with darkening. Amla is actually known to help with darkening the hair naturally over time. So I think those 2 you can look into. And maybe avoid, if you use honey on your hair, in case you didn't know, it contains hydrogen peroxide. So over time it can lighten your hair a bit. So maybe you can avoid that, honey. Did I ever try dyeing my hair with henna, and how well did it work for you? If so, I did not. I've never used henna on my hair. Uh, I wanted to try it, but I've never followed through, so I I can't give you feedback on that. Okay, what are my favorite hair products? My favorite hair products are the hair products I have now that I'm trying to use up. I really like supporting local brands. So I've done a number of reviews on this channel. I've talked about Mosara, I've talked about Harvest Sunshine, I've talked about Saru Organics. They're all brands that I love. I try not to get too caught up in sticking to one specific brand because I mean, when I started out my journey, I was such a product junkie and I've grown past that. So as long as the hair product works for me, it's a good hair product. Again, they are not supposed to be miraculous or magic products. They're just supposed to do what they say they're gonna do. Do you know any supplements or vitamins that are beneficial to hair growth? Actually, someone asked about my thoughts on supplements and hair vitamins in general. I do not think, my take is, I do not think that you should be taking supplements if you are not deficient in anything, particularly when it comes to hair vitamins. This is, sorry, I lost my train of thought. So with supplements, if you want to take a supplement, what I'd advise is you first go ahead and get your blood work done, check your vitamin and mineral levels. If you're deficient in it, then you need supplements. Supplements are supposed to be just that, additional to your hair routine. They are not supposed to cure you. They're supposed to be an additional to your typical hair routine and to your healthy, balanced, nutrient-dense diet. So I don't use any hair vitamins, and so I would not recommend it unless you need it. Since I mentioned earlier, like if you have deficiencies, like you're low in vitamin D, you're low in iron, you're low in zinc, and this is something you would know if you went and got your blood work done, then supplementing in that case would be beneficial for your hair. So I hope that helps you, Sharon. How to get rid of or reduce dandruff? Well, dandruff can be because of you could have another condition, like you could have an underlying condition like psoriasis or eczema. So again, this is something that would be good to get checked out. Maybe you just need to moisturize your scalp a bit more regularly, or you need to cleanse your scalp more regularly. But when it comes to dandruff, it leans towards more of a dermatological condition. So you might want to get checked, and maybe you might get a medicated shampoo that can permanently help with that. How frequently should you do the LOC? That's really up to your hair. You should know when your hair is very dry and in need of more moisture, and that's when you give it moisture. If that's every day, then do it every day, though you're more likely to get some build up quite fast. So it depends also on the porosity of your hair and if the products are, working well to maintain the moisture in your hair. So I don't have a specific recommendation. I personally can go easily, I can go maybe 4 days, 4 to 5 days, sometimes even a week without re-moisturizing my hair. But I know that's not the case for most people. So again, if you choose not to do the lock method more frequently, then you can just try the steaming method that I mentioned earlier, or just mist your hair with some water and apply a bit of oil and keep it pushing. What are my thoughts on the greenhouse baggy method or natural hair? I've read about it before, and I saw two sides. Some people found it so useful. For those who don't know about the greenhouse or baggy method or natural hair, it's basically you apply moisture, if I'm not wrong, and then you cover it, like you cover your hair with a plastic cap or which are banned in Kenya, with a plastic bag or mostly a plastic bag, and I think you leave it on overnight if I'm not wrong. And it's a very good way to get the product to soak up into your strands. The issue with overnight treatments of any kind, especially if you're doing the baggy method using like a deep conditioner, is there's a point where the moisture is too much and it can actually weaken your hair. So maybe if you do it with your typical moisturizing products, it should be okay. But I would not recommend the baggy method like with a deep conditioner or a rinse out conditioner. Rinse those things out. Beyond 30 minutes, I read before, it's no longer significantly beneficial. So your return on investment is just not worth it. So 30 minutes is enough for you to sit with a rinse out conditioner or with a deep conditioner. Anything beyond that is just you doing the most. Yeah. Hi, kiddo. Hi, barbecue sauce. My scalp gets itchy on day 3 after watching. What's wrong with me? Washing. Still researching on why this is happening. Any advice would be helpful. Thanks. Well, it could be a reaction to the product that you're using on your hair. It could be a reaction to the product on your hair. So maybe look into that. You could be allergic to fragrance or some ingredient in that product. It could also be, again, that you have a dermatological condition, you have some scalp condition that you want to get checked. So I recommend that you go and see a doctor and see what they can do to help you. Sharon says, onion juice helps cure dandruff and scalp conditions. It also darkens hair over time if used consistently. Green Beauty's hair darkened over time. Shout out to you, Sharon. So yes, thank you for helping me and helping everyone else who's watching. So you can read up on that. Onion juice seems to cure quite a lot of things. Auntie Jojo, how do you deal with awkward stage hair? This is in between the short and the long phase. Oh, so this was actually one of the first questions that I answered. And basically, I said that you just need to find 1 or 2 hairstyles that work for you and stick to them. It is a phase, it will pass. Enjoy your hair at every stage. If you're not comfortable with wearing your hair down, you could consider adding some braids or some extensions so that you can sleek your hair down and do some buns or do some updos with some help, with some support. Otherwise, your twist outs, your braid outs, your perm rod sets, your bantu knot outs, all of those are very good ways to enjoy that stage. Wow, okay, so those are your questions when it comes to hair. Just leave a thumbs up if we are still together and if you're finding this beneficial so far. So now I want to move to the next category. Mishi told me to name what I'm currently using and enjoying. Mishi is my manager and she's giving me some feedback. So oh, okay. So she's telling me that some people are not able to join the live. So let me fix that for you guys. For those who are on Instagram, I think they can just come straight to the channel to access the live. So Mishi, oh, the link is broken. Wow, we are viral. Okay, I'm just kidding. Oh, people are saying hi. They're saying that they're asking for you to come in frame. Oh, Gary, she's refused. Okay, sorry guys. Let's remain professional. Okay. now we'll move on to skin. So the first question was getting rid of how to get rid of dark areas and hyperpigmentation. So this is a question I get often, and I do not like giving recommendations simply because I have not experienced any dark spots or hyperpigmentation on my face, and I have not really bothered to deal with the hyperpigmentation on my body. But I plan to look into it a bit more. So I'll just take you through how I would look into the treatment for this. So with any condition, you need to determine the underlying cause first. So do your research, see the possible causes of the dark spots or the hyperpigmentation. Are they because you have acne and then it heals and then you get the dark spots? Is it dark areas because of friction, like your elbows or your thighs, they tend to get dark. So you need to figure out what is the cause, because if it's an underlying skin condition, then just throwing products on top of it might not cure it. So when it looks into treatments, as far as I've found, when it comes to some ingredients that you'd want to look into, I've read about hydroquinone. So hydroquinone is actually known as a lightening agent. So the percentages that are prescribed, you have to be very careful with it. But why it's one of the most effective hyperpigmentation treatments is because it's a tyrosine kinase inhibitor. So this is an enzyme that I think causes your body to produce more melanin. So because it inhibits that enzyme, and you're producing less melanin and you're reversing the darkening in that area. So this is not something you buy off the street, on the road, outside your house, like a smoky pasua. Please don't. You want to do it with under the supervision of an esthetician or a dermatologist. Other ingredients that you want to look into are like lactic acid, vitamin C, and alpha-arbutin. So I'm just giving you some suggestions, and then you can read up more on them, look into the ones you may be keen on before you go for your appointment, so that you work with a professional to help you. Don't do those lemon treatments at home. Playing with acids on your skin, please don't. Just don't. That's all I can say. Okay. Yeah, so actually one esthetician I can recommend is Cave of Beauty. She's actually a Kenyan. Her name is Lily Njoroge. She has a post on it, and I believe you can also reach out to her for some advice on that. Okay, just a minute that I log into my Instagram and help some of you who are still stuck, locked out. Sorry guys, I don't know what's happening with my Instagram. I'm not able to log in. Sorry, Michelle. Hi, Alan. Hi, Auntie June. Okay, let's see. Where? Hey guys, I'm so sorry. I know some of you are struggling. I don't know, I can't. Let's see.
The link is going to a blank page.
Okay. Oh no. Okay, how? how do we do this? Is it possible to share the live with someone? Like share a link to the live?
Yes, but I have to show it.
Oh, okay. Uh, sorry, guys. Okay, guys, please sit tight. I'm coming back in a minute. I need to sort out the people who are not able to access the live as of right now. So just give me 1 minute. Go to the bathroom. Go refill your drink. Go and top up your ugali. And then we'll be back.
Tell people to just type
shortly.
your name on YouTube on Instagram. Okay, it's okay.
Bishal, will you figure it out? Okay, yeah, we'll be back shortly. No, don't. I think just leave it on.
How do I leave? How do I leave?
Hi, Karubu. Thank you for your patience. We are in. Hallelujah. Won't he do it? Michelle.
There I am. Just wanted to see me.
Okay. So I don't know if we should give those who are still locked out. Hi, Kelly. I'm so sorry to those who've not been able to access. I believe that the live will still be accessible. I'll leave it up on the channel. So for those who missed out on this, they can always watch it back when they're able to, because I understand that not everyone was available at this time or had other priorities. So in case your friends are not able to, you can always share the video with them for them to check it out later. All right, so I think we can just keep going. Someone asked for recommendations for oily skin. So first off, I'll say that I don't fully believe in dedicating or using dedicated skin products based on your skin type. I think that skin might be oily as an overcompensation for being dehydrated. So I don't really believe in like, oh, you go and buy the oily skin range, but I'm not a professional, like, so don't quote me, don't at me. But to answer more about the oily skin, I think with any skin type, you need to just simplify your skincare routine and make sure you've got the basics locked down. Do you have a good gentle cleanser that does not excessively strip your skin? It's a good pH, it has good ingredients. Maybe if not, you want to look into using a good cleanser. Inclusive if you have oily skin. Then sunscreen. So keep it simple first. Maybe if you're using too many products as of right now, you want to just dial it back down, stick to your fundamentals, and then you can always supplement. I know that there are so many products that are supposed to be really good and really beneficial for your skin, but more often than not, we are overworking our skin, or we're not keep your skincare routine simple, and then now you can look into treatments, particularly for oily skin. Now, when it comes to those treatments, when oily skin tends to be more acne prone, so for oily and acne prone skin, BHAs like salicylic acid seem to be very helpful. So if you don't know about salicylic acid, I've done an entire video on chemical exfoliation. There's AHAs and BHAs. and BHAs seem to be very, very beneficial for people with oily skin. So look into maybe introducing salicylic acid into your routine. Again, it's not something I'll just tell you to wake up and go and buy. You could consult with a dermatologist and they can help you out with that. But for now, you can read up a bit more on that. The next question was my skincare routine. So I like to try out different products and give some reviews to you guys. So as I've mentioned, cleansing is very important. So I have a good cleanser. I chemically exfoliate my skin 2 to 3 times a week, or really as needed. Sometimes I can go a week without exfoliating, and then I moisturize and I use sunscreen every day. So that's I'd rather do a routine maybe like at the end of the year when I've used all of them, because they keep changing. But so far, I think it's my moisturizer and my sunscreen that have remained fairly, they've remained the same for over a year now. So I use a Kenya Botanica, which is available because it can be quite, it's a bit greasy. So actually, when I use it during the daytime, skincare routine is okay. So if I introduce more steps, I'll be sharing that with you. Okay, so let's look at your hair. With your acne are not things you can get over the counter. So please see a dermatologist if possible. Okay, thanks, Auntie Jojo. So people, well, I mean, you're on here with me, so I think Michelle has managed to get to the people on Instagram who were not able to join. Okay. How often should one use African black soap on their face or body? Some say using it every day is too dry. Yeah, so African black soap is it's an alkaline soap. So our skin is slightly acidic, and that's why many people find it quite harsh and quite drying on the skin. I think I tried it a bit and it was just too much for me. So I can't tell you to use it maybe once a week or twice a week. It's just not something I would personally recommend because I find it quite harsh on the skin. So I hope that helps you, Karugo. Maybe look into using a gentler cleanser for your face and for your body. Okay, guys, are those all your skincare questions? I think I'll move on to... Hi, Oscar. Did I say hi to you? Sorry. Hi. Okay, now the next category is health. So someone had said I briefly talked about nutrition. I did a couple of stories on nutrition, asking you guys about diets and what you think about them and which ones you believe are the best. So someone wanted to ask me what's going on when it comes to nutrition in my life. So as of right now, I'm currently studying or reading about what is, I mean, if it exists, the best diet for us. So until then, I'm focusing on the simple habits of just drinking more water, eating more veggies, and eating more whole natural foods, including natural sugar over processed sugar and processed food. So you notice that I am saying more of certain things versus saying avoiding or eating less of, because I think why many people consider a way of eating restrictive is because your approach is from all the things you don't get to eat instead of all the things that you get to eat. So more than anything else, I'm just working on my relationship with food and my mindset when it comes to eating, because emotional eating is also a thing, and I'd never want, well, moving forward, for food to be an emotional cushion for me. I just want it to be fuel. So I hope that answers that question. Hi Priya. All right. So now the next question is about wealth. Someone asked me what investments I'm making. Wow. So I have a lot of content on personal finance lined up for you because I've been reading a lot about it and I just want to share what I know. You might know what I already know, but it would be interesting to just go on the journey together. So, in terms of investments, it's a very broad, in depth topic that I don't feel very equipped to go into detail on. And I'm still learning, but as far as where I am at right now, mutual funds are the easiest investment I've understood, and so that's my focus for now. Again, I don't have a lot of capital to invest in something like real estate, but I'm also looking into or reading up more on stocks and individual stocks and bonds. And yeah, so that's where I'm at now when it comes to finance and investment. But I do have a couple of videos coming up soon. So I'll keep you posted. The last category, is it the last or not yet? Wellness. Okay, so the only question was my thoughts on supplements and multivitamins, which I've addressed earlier. So get your blood work done, and if they tell you have a deficiency, then take your multivitamins. I did drink cod liver oil as a child because my mother made us take it. How many of you took, what was it called? Scott. Okay, yeah, that we were made to take that. And then at some point we started taking fish oil. Even and then I might. And also at some point I was taking multivitamins, but I've never been very, very consistent with it. And it goes back to just that thing of your food should be nutrient dense. You can actually get toxicity from overdosing on certain vitamins and minerals. So start with your food and then take it from there. Malcolm, you have a question. What do you say about expired face soap? I found some in the house and it looks pricey. I decay if I want to throw it out. I feel like I can use it. Malcolm, I have seen your face. Please preserve it. Maybe you can use the face soap to wash some surfaces, to wash your wigs. But I don't do it. Like, the issue with expired products is not always that they will be necessarily dangerous to your skin and your hair, but why they set an expiry date or use before this date is because the ingredients past that date are not as effective anymore. So even that pricey product, it's probably worth half the price now. So it's not worth it. Okay. I'm just being real with you, Malcolm. Okay. Just mind and productivity, which is a fairly new category on my platforms, but I'm super passionate about it, so you'll see a lot of content on that. So stick around, subscribe, turn on your notification bells, all of that. So the first question was how to combat the issue with laziness and motivation is stop looking for motivation. I plan to do more videos in detail about motivation, and I know that many people might not agree with me on it, but I just think that I don't like the idea of using motivation as your driving force to get stuff done, because it kind of implies that if you don't have motivation to do something, then you can't do anything. We don't sorry. So with motivation, I think you just need to throw that word out of your life and focus on building certain habits like discipline, self-control, grit, and the art of creating and maintaining good habits. Now, I think motivation and inspiration are fairly different. So, inspiration is something people who are already putting in the work, who are already creating, who are already being productive, use to give them new ideas, some innovative ways to keep going. So, I'm okay with inspiration, but motivation is just a myth. That's my opinion. So, stop looking for motivation. And number two, laziness is what to make of it. Many people will not get work done and do something else and feel guilty about doing it. What I'd rather do is wake up and decide to watch Netflix the whole day. And I'm intentional about watching Netflix the whole day. Own your choices so that you remove the guilt from taking a break, remove the guilt from pausing, remove your friends, because those are also productive things to do. Those are important aspects of your life. So, what is productivity to you? You know what I mean? You feel me? So, I think own your choices more so that you work when it's time to work and you rest when it's time to rest, and you have no issue distinguishing the two. Okay. Okay, before I finish up, hi, Mrs. M. June, now that we are on lockdown and our supply didn't manage to stock up cleansers and toners, are there any homemade remedies? Oh, yeah. Okay, so cleansers and toners, homemade remedies. Wow. Well, toners, so first of all, I don't think toners are an essential part of your skincare routine. You can do without them, provided that you have a good cleanser. So, when it comes to cleansing your skin, it's possible to find some products online. If you have to use products in your house, I'm trying to think of a DIY skin cleanser. I really would not recommend a DIY skin cleanser. I know some people say that honey can be antibacterial, and also oil cleansing might be a bit beneficial during this time. If you have an oil on hand, you can just massage it into your skin for a while. I'm actually going to do an entire video on oil cleansing, so I'll get into more detail on it. But just using an oil to lift the dirt and debris on your skin can be beneficial, and then you wipe the oil off with a cloth. But I don't like people just using oil cleansing alone. Second cleansers are important as well. So long story short, try and find a way to get some products delivered to you. And some soaps, I think some people do quite well with like the Dettol even tone soap on their faces. So there are some products you can get from like your supermarket if your go-to cleanser is not working. Is not available during this time. Let's see. Let me look at what you guys are saying. Mona, out of curiosity, what do you do for a living? I'm a student. Someone asked how did you achieve your current hairstyle? So actually this is, I've had my hair in chunky loose twists for the past week, so I just took them down today for you guys and actually let the steam in the shower just hit it so it kind of puffed up. Thank you. Hi Melody, thank you. Are there any more questions here? Hi Angie, thank you. Yeah, sure. Oh, Mrs. M, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Andy, June, you're welcome. Let's see if there's more questions. Okay, so then the final question. The question is just tips on being generally organized. Organization is one of those topics that I can stretch forever. I can do an entire series because it cuts across many aspects of your life. Is it organization of your space? Is it organization of your mind? Is it your work ethic? It depends. And to be honest, I'm not as organized as I would like to be, but in some areas I'm doing okay. So my short condensed answer to being generally organized is one, create some structure in your life. People find it a bit boring to have a system or a flow, a way of doing things. But this is one of the best ways to be organized. And what I mean is when it comes to setting up a flow of how you handle your work or your business or your studies, is you create a structure as a template, and then you just keep using it, you keep repeating. So I'll give an example. Making a standard checklist for things you do often can be quite beneficial and can help you to just be organized and make sure that you don't leave out anything and you do everything thoroughly. For example, if you are a student, you've probably had to write many essays. So instead of each time you get an essay, you're just like, oh, that's Greek mythology. Then you just open and you start typing a bit, then you do a bit of research, then you do a bit of reading. You can set a checklist where it's like, okay, what do I do? Research first, find my 10 sources, then create my references, and then extract information, and then create introduction, and then create conclusion, and then build body, and then review. This is, if you make that template once and always have that with you, regardless of the essay you're given, you have structure to it. That's just an example of what I mean. So just creating some systems where it's automated, it's not something you have to keep thinking about and coming back to. So I hope that's a bit helpful. That's my first tip on being generally organized. And that can apply to even your cleaning. If you have a cleaning checklist, you have a flow in the way you clean your room or your space, then you don't waste time. It's less, you actually take less time, there's less effort, there's less decision fatigue because you know exactly what you're doing and where you're supposed to be. So if you just like cleaning closet, then it's like take out laundry, this, and you just have that checklist that you follow through, then windows, and then bed. I don't know, you know what I mean? It's just an example, but just having that flow that you use as your template and always come back to just makes things so easy and so effortless. So I believe in checklists, I believe in systems, I believe in structure. The second thing is to prioritize. You don't have to do everything. Do only what is important. So when it comes to being organized, you might be doing a lot of unnecessary things that don't add value to your life and they're just making you stressed out. So you might want to reevaluate what your priorities are and focus on doing only what is important, what matters to you. And this is not just when it comes to school and to work, even when it comes to relationships. You have to prioritize them. You have to, honestly, in some ways, create some structure around them so that you can be the best friend, daughter, cousin, mother, wife, husband, whatever it is. So prioritize. That's my second general tip. And then the third thing is to delegate. It kind of rides off of the second point where you don't have to do everything, but maybe everything you need to do is important, but you don't have to be the one who does everything. And this is something I find type A personalities, people who are very meticulous, they struggle so much with delegating because they have a particular way that they want things to be done. And so they end up overburdening themselves with a lot of tasks. So learn how to delegate. Consider mentoring or training people to be able to do the work that you need to get done the way you want it to get done, so that you don't have too much on your plate. That will also keep you organized and keep you less stressed. yeah, so and then also it will foster teamwork because you want to lessen the load, you want everyone to contribute, and it's a good way to utilize people's strengths. So a good example is like with school. Say you want to make really good notes for your lectures, you could consider, creating a group of 2 to 3 people, and then you split the work. You create a template or a structure of how the notes should be made so that it's consistent for everyone and it works for everyone. You divide the work, everyone is happy, it's teamwork, you all win together, you all thrive. I think delegation is something people often don't think about. So it's a very important aspect of any sort of routine if you want to be organized. So it's also something that I'm working on, allowing people to help me. Yeah. I think those are my many thoughts. Let's see what you guys are saying. Shiko, hi. Do you still sing? Yes, I sing for the Lord. I sing in the shower. I sing because okay, no, just kidding. I'm playing. But yeah, I sing for myself and for God. Yeah. Suzanne, thank you. I'm glad the tips are helpful. Mrs. M, I'm so type A. I take back delegated task. It's time. It's 2020. It's time to learn, especially now more than ever. You realize you can't do everything on your own, and it's a good time to learn how to get help. So focus on, if you struggle with delegation, as I've said, try and teach people in the kindest way how you want your work to be done, and eventually they'll catch up and they'll have an idea, and then they can give you the work that you want and what you need. And then also, when you're delegating, aside from getting what you want, focus, as I've mentioned, on their strengths. Use their strengths, emphasize what they're really good at, and maybe delegate to them what they're good at doing. Sometimes you're delegating tasks to people that you're the best at doing. So I hope that helps you a bit. Okay, guys, I think that's it for me. Thank you, Fiona. Those are my answers. Those to all of your lovely questions. So we have 7 minutes to go. I've been told by my manager. So if you have any questions, some quick fire questions, now is your time before we close out this live session. My first live session. Thank you guys for coming. So any questions you have, drop them now. As you write your questions, remember you can find me here on YouTube at Sharon Malonza. You can find me on my website, sharonmalonza.com, which I launched last month, and I'm very excited. There'll be a lot of amazing content coming from there for you guys. You can also email me. I do respond to emails at hello@sharonmalonza.com. Then you can follow me on Instagram at Sharon Malonza, and on Facebook, I'm still My Kenyan Puff. So I chose YouTube Live actually because I wanted to make sure that people from Facebook are not left out, because not everyone has an Instagram account. So for all of you, I'm sure you can access my website and YouTube. So you can also let me know if I do future lives, if you're comfortable with me doing them here on YouTube. Ida, I hope, is oiling your scalp better than actually moisturizing your strands? No, actually not. Oiling your scalp is not necessary. For a huge part of my hair journey, I didn't feel the need to oil my scalp. It's only recently that it started to get drier and testing out oiling it. But moisturizing your strands is non-negotiable. So if you had to pick one, although they serve different purposes, then moisturizing your strands would be more important. But remember, oil is not a moisturizer, it's a sealant. So I hope that helps you out. Sharon, are you wearing any makeup? Your skin is gold. Actually, I am, because my mother wanted to put makeup on my face so that I look cute for you guys. So yes, I am wearing makeup at the moment. It's a very light layer of foundation by Estee Lauder in the shade Rich Caramel, if I'm not wrong. You can DM them and tell them to, work with me, because I like their foundation. And I want to put some eyeshadow on me. Like, listen, I'm not very good at doing makeup. I rarely wear it. So I think she put some blush as well, some eyeshadow, and she like brushed my eyebrows. So this is it, chief. And thank you, Sharon. Oscar, thank you for the effort and the tips. Do this more often. I hope to. I really wanted to see how you would enjoy this kind of sessions where it's more, free flowing, conversational. So hopefully I'll do more in the future. What hobbies will be keeping you busy during this quarantine period? Hobbies. Wow. I think this period I actually want to just develop some habits, like some skills, like regularly exercising, maybe some cooking, because we gotta eat to live. So cooking is something I'd want to do more of. What else? Just learning more about running this platform so that I can do it better. So I know they don't sound like hobbies, but yeah, those are the things I'll be working on, and obviously doing a bit of just personal studying and learning about all the things that I'm interested in. So yeah, I might even paint. I might write a little, because I think somewhere in there's an artist. I don't know where she is, but we want to bring her out. So really, I'll just be going with the flow and seeing what sticks. Best tip for maintaining a routine for spontaneous people. A routine, like a daily routine, or a hair routine, or a skincare routine. Maintaining a routine, really just, it goes back to discipline and learning the art of building habits. Because if you want to be spontaneous, then can you have a routine? Genuinely, I'm just going with my thoughts here. I think if you want to be spontaneous, consider sectioning off a particular time, like maybe say for 4 hours, I'm going to do the things that I need to get done. And then for the rest of the day, the rest of the afternoon, then I can go with the flow. Does that help a bit? So yeah, so you have a routine for like the first half of the day. Then for the rest of the day, you're like, let's do what we feel like doing. I hope that helps a bit, Angie. Malco, first of all, I've had such a good time. Second, what's your diet like? You talked about eating for fuel, but what do you eat? What do you think about the fad diets of today? Well, thank you for having a good time. What's my diet like? Right now, as I'm eating, okay. You guys really want me to tell you exactly what I'm eating. But don't quote me, don't at me, don't. Okay, so I eat like sausages for breakfast. Actually right now I'm loving some fried rice. We just fried together as a family. For breakfast, it varies. I like my eggs, I like my bacon, I like my sausages, I like my toasted rye bread, I like my coffee. For lunch, dinner, it's just some castach, some veggies, and some meat, or isio. Do you guys know what isio is? well, hey, if you're a cow, you know what I'm talking about. It's really some fried maize and beans, really. It pops, it slaps. Okay, so I eat just regular food. Just some meat, some veggies, some starch. That's it. Yeah. What do I think about the fad diets of today? Uh, it depends on what you consider. If it's a fad, it will live its time and fade. But if you see a trend that just keeps morphing and resurfacing, then maybe there's something to it. So I don't have, there's no diet I can think of that I feel extremely opposed to. The only diet I am opposed to is like starving yourself. Like, and not eating, fasting has its place. I'm just saying any diet that makes you starve yourself. I'm not really into the whole juicing, those juicing diets, tea detox, vitamin T, those ones I'm like, nah. But if you're eating whole, natural food, drinking enough water, and then I think you're doing okay. What's your everyday makeup go to? No makeup. I just brush my eyebrows and wear lip gloss and wear and wear sunscreen and go. I rarely wear makeup. Maybe I wear makeup for church and for like functions like weddings and all. So what else? I recently noticed my hair on the crown section is shorter than the rest. What should I do to get that section to the same length as the rest? So patience, unfortunately, there is no way to like speed up the growth if you've experienced some breakage. Breakage around the crown area is quite common. So, but this is because it's a very sensitive part of your hair, and what people do, and it's something I'll be talking more about when it comes to sectioning of your hair, is commonly you'll see people section their hair right down the middle in like every YouTube video and split their hair this way. So what do you do at the center? You pull it on opposite sides. Can you see what I mean? So it's very easy to create balding and tension in your crown. So what I recommend that all of you can start doing now, if you section your hair, have a section specifically for the crown. Like section here, 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 and also have section for the crown as well. For growing it out, you just have to let it grow at its pace now, and if you want it to catch up, you could cut the other lengths of the hair to match the length in the crown, but there's just no way I can think of at least that will help you out with that. How did you manage single strand knots? Well, with single strand knots, they are unavoidable. If you have kinky or natural hair, they will happen. But my biggest tip is keep your hair stretched. Whether it's with heat, without heat, most of the time, even like I told you guys, I'm wearing my hair out and open for you. I rarely have my hair in this state. It's usually maybe twisted up and tucked away. Just keeping it stretched is the best way for me to minimize tangling and just thoroughly detangle during your wash days. So I think, yeah, that's my best tip when it comes to managing single strand knots. And take them out very gently. Don't just, you see a knot and just yank it. Try to just take the hair out of the knot if possible, or use some good shears and trim the knots off so that you don't create blunting along the length of your hair. Because when it blunts, then it's probably going to break off. So be careful with how you handle the knots themselves if they do come up. What series are you watching during Miss Rona's reign? What am I watching? Okay, so I'm watching this Netflix show called Love. It's okay, to be honest. I just have an issue with starting a show and not finishing it. So I'm just going to follow through and finish. But I really want to start watching the African one. Queen Sono, I've had really good things. And I had just finished Love is Blind recently. So that was interesting. Uh, oh my gosh. Self-Made, Madam C.J. Walker. I watched it overnight a couple of days ago. Very inspiring, very interesting, and it's just lovely to see people with their natural hair in all its glory. So if you haven't watched that, you should watch it. Miss M, I'm so tired of these juicing stories. Same girl, same. Joanna, what are your current favorite hair products? Right now, I'm really liking Saru Organics. Hashtag kind of sponsored. I am working with them, so I'll just be transparent about that. I have loved their products since 2016. I did a review on them, and it's really nice to be partnering with them and supporting local. So that's what I've been using of late. That's what I'm using a lot of right now, and I'm also experimenting with using hair grease. So I'll be sharing more on that. What other hair products am I liking? As I mentioned, a lot of the brands I have at home are local, so I still love my Mosara. I have some Azayam products which are really nice. Chef Naturals, I have a lot of their oils. And I still use the Harvest of Sunshine deep conditioner. So most of them are local products, and I really, really love them. Anna, did you complete your studies in Asia? No, not yet. Okay, guys, are those all your questions? So, Mishi has asked me to do something. Yes, Mishi. Yeah. Okay, so Mishi wants asking me to be more specific about my favorite hair product for each category. Okay, so for hair shampoo, I really like this is Design Essentials. Design Essentials had given me some products a while back, so I really like the shampoo. I also enjoy the Dark and Lovely shampoo because it has sulfates, but it wasn't stripping for my hair. But right now I'm using a lot of sulfate shampoos, so I'm not too picky about the one I use as long as it thoroughly cleanses my scalp. So I've also used Mikala a couple of times. It's a low sulfate shampoo and it's working quite fine for me. When it comes to rinse out conditioner, again, I'm not too particular about it. I do like the what am I using? I don't use rinse out conditioner as much unless maybe to pre-poo. So I will sometimes use the Saru Organics Detangler or use the what is this? Oh, I can't remember my products. I have some Shea Moisture rinse out conditioners that still work fine, and Chef Naturals also has a detangling conditioner which I really enjoy. For deep conditioners, I really like the Saru Organics mask, like the moisturizing mask, and I also recently tried out the protein mask, both of which are very good. I also like the Harvest of Sunshine deep conditioner, the As I Am deep conditioner, and which other deep conditioner? I think those are the main ones. So really, they're all on rotation. And then for leave-in conditioner, Saru Organics leave-in conditioner, I love that and I recommend it to everyone. I really, really enjoy it. Then for my sealant, I told you as of right now I'm testing out grease and it's working okay. I sometimes use a curling butter like the Saru Organics curling butter, or there's another curling butter I really like. Which one? I think As I Am has a curling cream that I enjoy. So those are some. I know I'm naming very many products. So, but they're all on rotation. Generally, I don't purchase products if I've not found the great reviews on them. So I just keep them in rotation. How long were you in Asia? Well, what was I? I went to Asia in 2018. I come over the holidays, and I expect to complete the current phase of my studies in Asia by the end of this year, all factors remaining constant, and hoping that we come out of this well and everything goes as planned. What's a good detangler for me and my kids? I think try out the Sari Organics detangler. It's recommended for both you and for your kids. Okay, guys, I have to stop now. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know, actually, before you go, if you would want to see more of them, or you can just always DM me, email me, let me know what you think you'd want more of and less of in the next time I go live. And remember to subscribe. I'll be having a lot of good content coming up for you in the next couple of weeks. Thank you, Louisa. I'm glad you had fun. This was really enjoyable to do. Thank you to all of you. Louisa wants Michelle in the frame. Okay. Malcolm, thank you. Thank you, Melody. Would love to hear from all of you before I log off officially. Yeah. Once again, my manager has told me to remind you, you can find me on my website, sharonmalonza.com, on Instagram, Sharon Malonza, on Facebook, My Kenyan Path, on email, hello@sharonmalonza.com. Have I left out anything? I think that's it. Yeah, so you can write to me, you can DM me if you prefer to keep your questions private. I know some people don't like asking questions in public forums, so you can always DM me or email me, and then I can answer your questions. Thank you, Alan. Bye. Okay, guys, I think we shall call it a night. My manager is coming to smile at you guys before we go in her pajamas. Come. Yeah, I think that's it. Bye, guys. Always remember that your hair is your crown and your body is a temple. Embrace it, love it, and take care of it. God bless you all. It's a bit behind. So. Okay.
Also.